Hi again, everyone. I'm Mr. Guy again, and we are back with the Spring Anchor tutorial series. This time we're going to be working on topic sentences, so buckle up. So let's begin with the goals of this tutorial. The goals of the topic sentence tutorial are for you to first understand the expectations of any topic sentence, but specifically a strong topic sentence. We also want you to understand how a topic sentence impacts the paper overall and what a topic sentence does for the paragraph and how those things tie together. And finally, we'll look at a couple of examples and we'll try to understand the difference between a strong topic sentence and a weak topic sentence and hopefully remediate some of those weaknesses. Here we go. At this point, you already know the prompt and what it is, but let's read it again. Using the novel Things Fall Apart and historical sources, analyze the motives for African imperialism and evaluate their impacts on African society. Consider both the European and indigenous perspectives. In order to understand topic sentences, we really got to make sure we understand the prompt. We'll also take a look at an example thesis so that we can move forward with how our paragraphs are going to be set up. In order to understand the examples we're going to use, we need a working thesis. This thesis was built in our thesis tutorial, so if you don't know where this came from, you can go back and watch that to understand how we constructed this thesis. Little disclaimer, don't use this in your paper, everyone's seen it. Anyway, the thesis is, although the Europeans believed that imperialism would help Africans, ultimately they caused political and social problems which negatively impacted Igbo culture. Keep this thesis in mind. We're going to create a topic sentence that will support it. So since our topic sentence is kind of like a miniature thesis, we need our topic sentence to have the same three components of a thesis, which are subject, argument, and focus. Note the color coordination there. We're going to try to keep things color coordinated as we move along. The topic sentence does two things. First of all, it's proving a specific point from the thesis. So there's a couple of points that are brought up in the thesis. We're going to work on proving one of them with our topic sentence. And we're also reflecting the general idea of the whole paragraph based on the concrete details that we're using. So here's our thesis again. Although the Europeans believed that imperialism would help Africans, ultimately they caused political and social problems which negatively impacted Igbo culture. If that's our thesis, then we have two specific points that two different topic sentences are going to need to reflect. That would be political and social. And the way that they're organized suggests that we're going to have which one first. It would be the first one, which is, yes, political motives. And it's also going to talk about negative impacts. So in this paragraph, we're going to be talking about political motives. So let's say I'm using a concrete detail or two concrete details that are going to discuss the political motives of the British coming to Africa, that'd be concrete detail 1, and then impacts to politics in Umuofia, that'd be concrete detail 2. So here's my first draft at a topic sentence. Again, this is talking about political motives and negative impacts. This suggests that the British tried to control the Africans and the Africans fell apart. It's not sufficient, but why not? Let's talk about the different pieces that make this an insufficient topic sentence. First, we have our subject. It's kind of a vague subject. Who are the British? British colonists, British missionaries, maybe more specific. There's also very little focus. It says that the British tried to control the Africans, but how? What are we talking about? How did they try to control them? And there's also not much of an argument. The Africans fell apart. I don't know what that means. I know it's the title of the book, but I don't know what it means. We need to be more specific. We need to have a better argument. So we got to work on this topic sentence. So here's our original. Not very focused, a lot of vagary. Here's a revision. Due to the British desire to control the political systems of the Niger River Delta, the Igbo lost their ability to govern themselves. The subject is much more clear. It's about motive, not just the British. It says what the British had as a motive. The argument suggests that the Igbo lost their ability to govern themselves. It's talking about the people, the specifics in Things Fall Apart. It's not suggesting that all Africans fell apart. And finally, it's more focused. It talks specifically about political motives in a specific place in Africa. So that's it for this tutorial on topic sentences. The main thing you need to think about are those three main focus points. Does your topic sentence have a clear subject that addresses the main idea of the paragraph? Does your topic sentence have a clear argument that is a claim or opinion about the main idea of the entire paper? Make sure it ties back to your thesis. And finally, is it focused enough? Does it describe both a motive and an impact as to what's going on in the Niger River Delta area at the specific time? That's it from me. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you, Mr. Mize.